Well, yeah, and like so busy trying to film this, and oh, this is so great. I can't wait to relive this, but I never actually like live it, right?
But I think also without the drugs, I mean, there's also these emotional traps that you can fall into when being sober. I mean, that.
Oh yeah, feeling sorry for yourself. I think that's the biggest one, right? Because I think as you start, and I got no moral investment in like sobriety. Like, I mean, you know, all my friends drink and smoke, really. Maybe one or two don't, but it's choices.
Did you let them do that while working with them?
Oh my God, of course. I mean, it's like for me, it's self-preservation. You know, I'm doing it because I want to feel better. If I'm being sober or whatever because I want to feel sorry for myself and my buddies are smoking, man, then I'm not learning shit, right? Like.
But have you now for yourself found maybe another way of escaping, a more healthy way, a less destructive way? Is there something that that you really want to do sometimes when it's maybe the working process gets too much into you? Is sports?
Well,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, a bit of exercise. But I mean, you know, it's like exercise sucks, right?
Yeah, maybe there's something else. I mean.
Well, I do it, and I really try to like keep it going. But I mean, it's like I'm not at that point yet where I wake up and I'm like, I think I should exercise. That would be awesome right now, or like. 7 o'clock at night, man, I finished a long work day. I think I'm gonna go run for 10 miles. I mean, it's like, in that case, I'm like, what I think I'm gonna do is get a bag of Doritos and sit on the couch and watch some shitty TV, right? Like,
maybe for the next project you can work and exercise together.
I'm trying, right? I mean, I think at this age now I'm heading towards 40, right? It's like to not exercise at this point, it's just like,
But I mean, working the way it intense, I assume it's pretty intense, so it does demand a pretty healthy concentration and also a way of focusing and also physical, I assume. I mean.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like the way I write now is like different than it used to be. Like years ago, I used to play riffs, but I found I just play the same riff, for like a month. Never get onto the chorus, never move on to another song. And I mean, I'd eventually figure it out, right? But it also ended in a lot of kind of like meandering statements, which it still does. But at least the process now is different in that. I don't ever write. I play bass all the time, but I don't write. I just love the sound and the feel of playing bass. But when it's time to write, I turn on my computer and I've got a session in Pro Tools. It's just like a template, with like a click and some instruments and some stereo tracks. And I get my room set up. I have my bass tuned up. I have my guitars tuned up. I have a backup guitar in case I break a string. My synths are on. And I just start and I see where it leads, right?
But is this template, does it result also in, do you have to change it a lot, or does it result in that each track for a certain project needs all the elements that you already set up?
Well, they're demos that ultimately come out that I just illustrate later. So, I have like some, basic synth, basic piano, basic choir, basic heavy guitar, basic, Mm-hmm. So I can like sketch out anything from like an electronic sort of an idea to a real heavy idea or a commercial or a poppy thing or whatever, because ultimately when I go to like illustrate it, I'll redo all of it, right? Like there's some stuff that improvise that like is worth keeping, but for the most part, man, it's like they're just like sketches, right? So.
But you said you don't write, so when you start a session, is it then really that we're picking something up that's closest to you and you build up on top of a certain idea that you might ditch later?
Yeah.
Is that the way you work?
Yeah, and I find that it's like as a result of like having a pretty full life, to be perfectly honest. Like, I mean, I do travel a lot, and I got a family, and there's a lot of things that go on in my life. There's good things and there's bad things, of course, right? Mm-hmm. But I think in the past I was like verging on obsessed about like capturing all of those moments and saying, oh, well, here's a period of emotional significance. I need to have my recorder. I need to have a guitar, and then I just would never really experience it, right? I just like
you're immediately switching from the emotion to the technical.
Well, yeah, and like so busy trying to film it, saying, oh, this is so great. I can't wait to relive this, but I never actually like live it, right? Yeah. So now, and I think part of like that not conquering, but dealing with the fear of myself also came with like gaining some self-confidence in the fact it's like, look, if it's really important to you, you're going to remember it. You know what I mean? So you might as well enjoy it. And then when I do sit down on the computer, inevitably what happens is I'm just like, well, where am I? I guess here. Oh, I guess it's poppy. Or, oh, I guess it's complicated, right?